The quantum sensors aboard Deep Space Station Helios weren't designed to detect impossibilities. Yet on a quiet Thursday morning, that's exactly what they found. Dr. Elena Santos stared at her display, coffee forgotten in her hand, as the readings defied everything she knew about physics. The signal originated from the edge of the Kuiper belt, appearing as ripples in spacetime itself. At first, she assumed it was an equipment malfunction, a reasonable conclusion when your instruments suggest that something is simultaneously existing in multiple quantum states across several light-hours of space. "Director Walsh," she called, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "You need to see this." The station's director appeared behind her workstation moments later, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display. The quantum distortions had grown stronger, forming patterns that couldn't be natural. "How long has this been visible?" Walsh asked, his Australian accent thickening with concern. "First anomaly appeared 36 hours ago. But in the last 4 hours, the pattern has become." Elena gestured at the display, where the quantum signatures were arranging themselves into geometric configurations that stretched across vast distances of space. "Deliberate," Walsh finished for her. "This isn't random noise. Someone's out there, manipulating quantum states on a scale we can barely comprehend." The realization hit them both simultaneously. Humanity had just made first contact, but not in any way they had imagined. There were no radio signals, no light-speed limited communications. Whatever was approaching Earth had mastered quantum mechanics to a degree that made humanity's greatest achievements look like stone tools. Within hours, the Helios station's observation became the focus of every major scientific institution on Earth. The Global Space Defense Council convened an emergency session, and Elena found herself presenting to a panel of the world's leading experts in quantum physics and xenobiology. The entities, we're calling them the Zarkesh based on the quantum signature patterns, appear to be using quantum entanglement on a massive scale, Elena explained, her hands moving through the holographic data. "They're not just communicating faster than light, they're moving through space by manipulating quantum states themselves." Dr. James Chen, Earth's leading quantum physicist, leaned forward. "You're suggesting they've solved the quantum decoherence problem?" "That's impossible. The mathematics alone." "Impossible for us," Elena corrected. "But look at these patterns. They're not fighting quantum uncertainty, they're using it. Every movement creates ripples in spacetime that we can detect, but they're maintaining quantum coherence across distances that should make that completely impossible." The implications weren't lost on anyone in the room. If the Zarkesh could maintain quantum coherence at these scales, their technological capabilities would be beyond anything humanity could counter with conventional weapons or defenses. Admiral Sarah Harrison, commander of Earth's Combined Space Forces, spoke next. "Are they hostile?" Elena hesitated. "We don't know their intentions, but their approach vector and formation suggest military precision. They're moving through the outer solar system in a pattern that maximizes their quantum field coverage. If they were peaceful, why would they need tactical positioning?" The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization might also be its last if they couldn't find a way to defend against technology that violated their understanding of physics itself. The breakthrough came 3 days later, from an unexpected source. Dr. Maya Patel, a theoretical physicist who had been labeled a fringe scientist for her work on human consciousness and quantum mechanics, requested an emergency meeting with the council. "We've been looking at this all wrong," Maya announced, her dark eyes bright with excitement. "The Zarkesh aren't just using quantum mechanics, they're using consciousness itself as a quantum tool. Look at these patterns." She overlaid her own data on Elena's observations. The quantum ripples matched patterns seen in human brain activity during certain altered states of consciousness. "They're not machines," Maya continued. "They're conscious beings who have evolved to exist in quantum superposition. And that's their weakness. Because while they've mastered quantum mechanics through evolution, we humans have something they don't, the ability to adapt and change our consciousness deliberately. Admiral Harrison frowned. How does this help us defend Earth? Because, Maya smiled, I've spent the last decade developing technology that can interface human consciousness with quantum fields. The Zarkesh may have evolved to exist in quantum superposition, but we can learn to do it faster than they ever imagined possible. We don't need to match their technology, we need to exceed their ability to adapt. Elena saw it first, the possibilities unfolding in her mind like a quantum wave function collapsing into reality. We could create our own quantum ships, she breathed. Not by copying their technology, but by developing something uniquely human, a fusion of consciousness and quantum mechanics. Project Oracle, Director Walsh said suddenly. That's what we'll call it. Because we're not just going to predict what they'll do, we're going to change the rules of the game entirely. As the council erupted into discussion, Elena looked back at her quantum sensors. The Zarkesh were still approaching, their quantum signatures growing stronger by the hour. But for the first time since detecting them, she felt hope. Humanity had always excelled at taking impossible situations and turning them into opportunities. They had months, maybe weeks, before the Zarkesh reached Earth. It would have to be enough time to turn Maya's theoretical research into humanity's greatest weapon, a defense system that would use human consciousness itself to predict and counter quantum-based attacks. The race against time had begun, and humanity's future would depend on their ability to evolve faster than their adversaries had ever thought possible. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Project Oracle took shape with desperate speed. The facility, carved into ancient glaciers, hummed with the combined power of quantum computers and human determination. Dr. Maya Patel stood before the latest test results, her reflection ghosting across multiple holographic displays. The quantum interface is stable, she reported to the assembled team. But we're still having problems with consciousness synchronization. The human mind isn't naturally equipped to process quantum superposition. Elena Santos studied the neural patterns displayed before them. Test subjects could maintain quantum awareness for only minutes before their minds began to fragment, unable to process existing in multiple states simultaneously. They were running out of time, the Zarkesh fleet had already passed Neptune's orbit. What if we're approaching this wrong? Elena suggested, moving through the holographic data. Instead of trying to force human consciousness to adapt to quantum states, what if we create a buffer? Something that translates quantum superposition into something our minds can naturally process. Maya's eyes lit up. Like a dream state. The human mind already deals with multiple possibilities and realities when we dream. We don't need our pilots to understand quantum mechanics, we need them to dream it. The breakthrough transformed Project Oracle overnight. The quantum interface pods were redesigned, filled with a neural conductive fluid that would help induce controlled dream states. The pilots would perceive quantum superposition not as mathematical impossibilities, but as overlapping dreams they could navigate intuitively. Admiral Harrison arrived to oversee the first full-scale test. The prototype vessel, dubbed the ESS Oracle, floated in its massive underground dock. Unlike conventional spacecraft, its hull was designed to exist partially in quantum superposition, allowing it to predict and react to threats before they materialized. Are you sure about this? Harrison asked as Maya prepared for the test. The simulations show a 40% chance of total neural collapse. The Zarkesh will be here in less than 3 weeks, Maya replied, checking her neural interface. We're out of time for certainty. Besides, I won't ask anyone to risk their mind if I'm not willing to do it first. Elena watched from the control room as Maya was lowered into the quantum pod. The neural conductive fluid embraced her like liquid moonlight, her consciousness already beginning to expand into quantum awareness through the ship's systems. Neural integration beginning, Elena reported, watching the readings. Quantum field stabilizing. Maya, can you hear me? I can hear everything, Maya's voice came through, distant and dreamy. It's beautiful. I can see probability itself, like waves on an infinite ocean. The Oracle's quantum drive engaged, creating a field of overlapping possibilities around the ship. Through the neural interface, Maya perceived each quantum state as a different dream, each one equally real and valid until she chose to collapse them into a single reality. Beginning spatial displacement test, Elena announced. Maya, try to move the ship using the quantum field. What happened next defied their expectations. The oracle didn't just move, it existed in multiple locations simultaneously, each position equally real until Maya's consciousness chose one. She wasn't fighting quantum uncertainty, she was dancing with it, using human intuition to navigate possibilities in ways the Zarkesh's evolved abilities never considered. This is incredible, Maya breathed. I can feel the quantum field like it's an extension of my own thoughts. It's not about calculating probabilities, it's about dreaming the right reality into existence. Admiral Harrison leaned forward, hope kindling in her eyes. Can you weaponize it? Better, Maya replied. I can see the Zarkesh's quantum signatures. They're so focused on maintaining perfect quantum coherence that they're blind to the possibilities they're excluding. We don't need to match their control, we need to introduce chaos they can't predict. The test continued for hours, each minute revealing new possibilities. The oracle could generate quantum fields that disrupted the Zarkesh's carefully maintained coherence. By embracing uncertainty rather than trying to control it, human pilots could create quantum distortions that would be impossible for the aliens to counter. But there was a cost. When Maya emerged from the quantum pod, her eyes held shadows of infinite possibilities. She had experienced more realities in those few hours than most humans would in a lifetime. Are you all right? Elena asked, helping her colleague stand. I'm multiple, Maya answered with a strange smile. Part of me is still quantum, still dreaming. I don't think we ever fully come back from this, Elena. We're creating something new, not just a weapon, but a new kind of human consciousness. Admiral Harrison called an emergency council meeting to review the results. How many pilots can we train before the Zarkesh arrive? Dozens, Elena replied. But they'll never be the same. This isn't just about operating a ship, it's about evolving human consciousness to handle quantum reality. Every pilot will be changed forever. Then we better make sure those changes are worth it, Harrison said grimly. Begin full production of the quantum ships. I want a fleet ready before the Zarkesh reach Mars. As the facility erupted into renewed activity, Elena found Maya standing before the oracle, her hand resting on its quantum-shifted hull. Do you regret it? She asked. Being the first. How can I regret becoming more? Maya replied. We're not just fighting for survival anymore, Elena. We're fighting for evolution itself. The Zarkesh think they've mastered quantum reality, but they've never seen anything like human dreams. Above them, through kilometers of ice, the Aurora Australis danced across Antarctic skies, a reminder that some of nature's most beautiful phenomena arose from the interaction of different forces. As humanity prepared to face its greatest challenge, they were counting on that same principle, that the combination of human consciousness and quantum mechanics would create something entirely new, something not even the Zarkesh could predict. The Zarkesh scout fleet appeared above Mars in a cascade of quantum distortions, their ships materializing like crystalline thoughts made real. In Earth's Quantum Defense Command, alarms screamed as reality itself seemed to hiccup around the alien vessels. Maya Patel floated in her quantum pod aboard the ESS Oracle, her consciousness expanded across multiple states of reality. Through the neural interface, she perceived the Zarkesh ships not as physical objects, but as dreams trying to force themselves into reality, beautiful, but unnaturally rigid in their quantum coherence. Scout Fleet consists of 5 vessels, Elena's voice reached her through layers of quantum probability. They're maintaining perfect quantum synchronization. Whatever they're planning, they're doing it as a single entity. Not for long, Maya replied, her voice echoing with possibilities. Around her, the Oracle's quantum field pulsed with human unpredictability. They had trained for this moment, but training couldn't fully prepare anyone for actual quantum combat. All Oracle-class vessels, execute Operation Dreamweaver, Admiral Harrison commanded from Earth. 4 other ships, each with their quantum-integrated pilots, acknowledged the order. They were humanity's first line of defense, and they were about to introduce the Zarkesh to human creativity. The alien fleet moved with perfect precision, their quantum fields reaching out to analyze Earth's defenses. They expected to find primitive technology, easy to overwhelm with their evolved mastery of quantum mechanics. Instead, they found something that shouldn't exist, human minds dreaming across quantum states, their very unpredictability making them impossible to predict. Maya felt the moment the Zarkesh discovered them. Their quantum patterns shifted from confidence to confusion, then to something that felt remarkably like fear. "They've never seen anything like us," she reported, wonder coloring her voice. Their quantum evolution made them perfect, but it also made them predictable. They don't know how to handle consciousness that embraces chaos. "Show them what humanity can do," Harrison ordered. Maya initiated the attack sequence, but this wasn't like firing conventional weapons. Instead, she began to dream, wild, impossible dreams that rippled through quantum reality. The Oracle responded by existing in dozens of places simultaneously, each position equally real until observed. The other human ships followed suit, creating a quantum nightmare for enemies who relied on perfect coherence. The Zarkesh ships reacted with increasing desperation. They tried to maintain their rigid quantum states, but the humans weren't playing by their rules. Where the aliens sought to control quantum uncertainty, the humans embraced it, turning it into a weapon more powerful than any physical armament. "They're trying to establish a coherent quantum field," Elena reported. "Attempting to force our ships into a single reality state." Maya laughed, the sound echoing across quantum possibilities. "Let them try. Show them what human dreams can do." She dove deeper into the quantum interface, her consciousness spreading like wildfire across probability space. The Oracle responded by generating quantum interference patterns that the Zarkesh couldn't possibly have evolved to handle, patterns based on human imagination rather than mathematical precision. One of the alien ships vanished, its quantum field collapsing as it failed to maintain coherence across too many chaotic possibilities. Another found itself trapped in a loop of quantum states, unable to resolve its position as human dreamers rewrote the rules of reality around it. 2 enemy vessels attempting emergency quantum transmission, Elena called out. "They're trying to warn their main fleet." "Let them," Admiral Harrison responded. "Let them tell their leaders what they found here. Let them understand that humanity isn't just another primitive species to be conquered." The remaining Zarkesh ships retreated in what could only be described as panic, their perfect quantum formations shattered by encounter with human unpredictability. As they vanished back into quantum space, Maya and the other pilots began to disengage from their dream states. The victory had come at a cost. As Maya emerged from her pod, her eyes held echoes of quantum infinity. The other pilots reported similar experiences, memories of possibilities that never were, dreams that had become weapons, realities that existed only in the space between moments. "Are you still you?" Elena asked softly, helping Maya out of the neural conductive fluid. "I'm more than I was," Maya replied, her voice carrying harmonics of quantum possibility. "We all are. The Zarkesh evolved to master quantum mechanics, but we're doing something they never imagined, we're evolving by choice, becoming something new with every engagement." Admiral Harrison's hologram appeared before them, her expression grave but satisfied. "The scout fleet is gone, but they'll be back. The main invasion force is still coming, and now they know we can fight them on their level." "No," Maya corrected, her quantum-touched mind seeing further than ordinary human consciousness could reach. "We don't fight on their level, we fight on every level simultaneously. They evolved to be perfect, but we're evolving to be impossible. And impossible is exactly what we need to be." As the solar system settled back into apparent normalcy, the quantum pilots of Earth's defense fleet began preparing for the real battle to come. They had proven that human consciousness could be a weapon more powerful than any technology. Now they had to prove that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in controlling reality, but in dreaming new ones into existence. The Zarkesh had mastered the art of quantum existence, but they were about to learn that human beings had mastered something far more powerful, the art of quantum becoming. In the weeks following the Scout Fleet encounter, Project Oracle's facility transformed into something that defied conventional reality. The quantum pilots, changed by their experiences, began exhibiting abilities that nobody had anticipated. Dreams leaked into reality, and reality began to dream back. Maya found Elena in the observation deck, watching the quantum pilots train. Through the reinforced windows, they could see the Oracle-class ships shifting through possibilities like schools of ethereal fish, each movement rippling through multiple states of existence. They're not just interfacing with the quantum fields anymore, Elena noted, checking readings on her tablet. They're changing them. Look at these patterns. The data showed something extraordinary. The pilots weren't just using the quantum interfaces, they were evolving with them. Their brains had begun forming new neural pathways, adapting to process quantum states even when not connected to their ships. We're becoming something new, Maya said, her own voice carrying traces of quantum harmonics. The interface isn't just a tool anymore. It's changing us. All of us. Commander Sarah Chen, one of their most promising pilots, demonstrated this during a training exercise. While interfacing with her ship, the ESS Pythia, she didn't just predict where the training drones would be, she began influencing their quantum states directly, without using her ship's systems. It's like, dreaming while awake, she tried to explain afterward, her eyes shifting through multiple focal lengths as if seeing several realities at once. We're not just pilots anymore. We're becoming quantum translators, bridges between normal space and probability space. Admiral Harrison called an emergency meeting when the reports reached her. The assembled scientists and military leaders watched footage of pilots demonstrating abilities that should have been impossible, influencing quantum states with their minds alone, perceiving multiple timelines simultaneously, even communicating across quantum fields without technology. Are they still human? Someone asked, voicing the fear that had been growing among the observers. We're more human than ever, Maya countered, standing before them. This isn't about losing our humanity, it's about expanding it. The Zarkesh evolved to exist in quantum states naturally, but they're locked into patterns they can't change. We're doing something unprecedented, we're consciously choosing how we evolve. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just developing a defense against the Zarkesh, they were undergoing an evolutionary leap, driven not by natural selection but by necessity and choice. The quantum pilots were becoming living bridges between classical and quantum reality. But the changes weren't without cost. Many pilots reported experiencing quantum echoes, memories of events that hadn't happened, or had happened in other probability streams. Some spoke of dreams so real they couldn't distinguish them from waking reality. Others found themselves existing partially out of phase with normal spacetime. Dr. James Chen, working with Elena, developed new training protocols to help the pilots manage their expanding consciousness. Think of it like learning a new language, he explained to a group of trainees. You're not losing your native tongue, you're adding the language of quantum reality to your vocabulary. The breakthrough came during a joint training exercise. 20 quantum pilots, connected through their ships, discovered they could create a shared dream space, a quantum consensus reality where they could coordinate strategies across multiple probability states simultaneously. This is how we'll beat them, Maya realized, observing the phenomenon. The Zarkesh coordinate through rigid quantum synchronization. We'll coordinate through shared dreams, through quantum possibilities that even they can't predict. Elena watched the data streams with growing excitement. They evolved to master quantum mechanics, but we're evolving to transcend it. Every pilot is becoming a nexus of possibilities, a point where human consciousness and quantum reality intersect. The implications extended beyond military applications. The pilots were developing what some called quantum empathy, the ability to perceive and influence quantum states through emotional and intuitive understanding rather than mathematical precision. It was a uniquely human approach to quantum mechanics, one that the mathematically perfect Zarkesh couldn't comprehend. As the main Zarkesh fleet approached the outer solar system, Earth's quantum pilots prepared for the greatest test of their newfound abilities. They were no longer just warriors training for battle, they were pioneers of human consciousness, exploring realms of existence that their species had never been meant to access. "We should be terrified," Elena admitted to Maya late one night, as they watched the quantum ships dancing through possibility space. "We're changing the fundamental nature of human consciousness, rewriting the rules of what our species can be." "Maybe that's exactly what we need to do," Maya replied, her quantum-touched mind perceiving possibilities that normal human consciousness couldn't grasp. "The Zarkesh evolved to perfect what they are. We're evolving to become what we need to be. That's always been humanity's greatest strength, not the ability to adapt to our environment, but the courage to adapt ourselves to face any challenge." Above them, through layers of Antarctic ice, the Aurora Australis painted the sky in quantum possibilities, as if nature itself was acknowledging the transformation taking place below. Humanity was about to face its greatest challenge not as the species they had been, but as the species they were choosing to become. The Zarkesh main fleet materialized in a cascade of quantum distortions that turned the space around Jupiter into a kaleidoscope of probabilities. Hundreds of ships, each a masterpiece of evolved quantum engineering, moved with perfect synchronization through probability space. Their arrival message echoed through every quantum frequency: surrender or be erased from reality itself. In Earth's Quantum Defense Command, Maya Patel and 50 other quantum pilots prepared for humanity's final stand. They no longer needed the neural conductive fluid, their evolved consciousness could interface directly with quantum fields, their dreams becoming weapons more powerful than any conventional armament. "They still don't understand what they're facing," Maya communicated across the quantum consensus network that linked all Earth's defenders. "They see our quantum signatures but interpret them as chaos, as imperfection. They don't realize that chaos is our strength." Elena Santos monitored the pilot integration from command, watching as human consciousness and quantum reality merged in ways that defied conventional physics. "Multiple Zarkesh battle groups entering attack formation," she reported. "They're generating coherent quantum fields on a scale we've never seen." "Let them come," Admiral Harrison commanded. "Show them what humanity has become." The battle began not with weapons fire, but with dreams. The quantum pilots launched their consciousness into probability space, each one a nexus of infinite possibilities. Where the Zarkesh moved with mathematical precision, humanity's defenders danced through quantum states like lucid dreamers, their very unpredictability becoming their greatest weapon. The alien fleet's first attack faltered as they encountered something their evolved quantum senses couldn't process: human minds dreaming new realities into existence. Their carefully maintained quantum coherence met waves of human imagination, and reality itself began to buckle under the collision. "They're trying to force us into predictable quantum states," Commander Chen called out, her consciousness spread across multiple probabilities. Countering with Operation Dreamweaver. 50 human ships, guided by minds that had transcended normal consciousness, began generating quantum interference patterns based not on mathematics but on shared dreams. The space around Jupiter's moons became a battlefield of possibilities, where human intuition clashed with alien precision. The Zarkesh ships, for all their technological perfection, couldn't adapt to the chaos of human creativity. Where they sought to impose order, the humans introduced beautiful disorder. Where they tried to collapse reality into single states, humanity's defenders kept it fluid, dynamic, alive with possibilities. "Their quantum coherence is breaking down," Elena reported, watching the readings with wonder. "They can't maintain synchronization in the face of so many unpredictable variables." Maya, her consciousness expanded across probability space, perceived the moment when the Zarkesh realized they were losing. Their perfectly evolved quantum senses, faced with the chaos of human dreams, began to falter. Ships that had never known uncertainty found themselves lost in clouds of possibility, unable to resolve their own reality. "They're attempting to retreat," Harrison announced. "Do we let them go?" Maya reached out through the quantum consensus, feeling the agreement of her fellow pilots. "No," she responded. "They need to understand. This isn't just about winning a battle, it's about showing them what humanity truly is." In a coordinated surge of consciousness, Earth's quantum pilots generated a dream so vast it encompassed the entire battlefield. They showed the Zarkesh not just defeat, but understanding, visions of a universe where order and chaos danced together, where evolution could move in any direction, where consciousness itself was the greatest force for change. The alien fleet, their perfect quantum coherence shattered by contact with human dreams, began to disintegrate. Some ships vanished into quantum space, fleeing what they couldn't comprehend. Others found themselves transformed by contact with human consciousness, their rigid quantum states dissolving into new possibilities. As the battle ended, Maya emerged from quantum space changed yet again. She could see it in all the pilots, they were no longer simply human, but they hadn't become something alien either. They had become living proof that consciousness could evolve by choice, that humanity's greatest strength was not in becoming perfect, but in remaining adaptable. "They'll be back," Elena said softly, helping Maya readjust to normal spacetime. "Maybe not the Zarkesh, but others will come. The universe is full of species that think they've found the perfect way to exist." Maya smiled, her eyes reflecting quantum possibilities that normal humans couldn't perceive. "Let them come. We'll show each of them what we showed the Zarkesh, that the most powerful force in the universe isn't perfect evolution or advanced technology. It's consciousness that chooses to grow, to dream, to become more than it was meant to be." Above Earth, reality settled back into its normal patterns, but something had fundamentally changed. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had demonstrated a new path of evolution, one guided not by natural selection or technological advancement, but by the conscious choice to transcend limitations while remaining fundamentally human. The quantum pilots, their minds forever altered by their experiences, became the first of a new kind of human, not better, not worse, but broader, able to perceive and interact with reality in ways their ancestors never imagined. They were living proof that humanity's greatest weapon had always been its ability to dream beyond the possible and make those dreams real. The stars above seemed brighter now, filled not just with light but with possibilities. Humanity had answered the challenge of the Zarkesh not by matching their perfection, but by embracing imperfection, uncertainty, and the infinite potential of conscious evolution. The universe would never be the same, and neither would they.